Hey, what's going on guys? It's Brainbean here again, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Havit low profile mechanical keyboard. So with that, let's go ahead and just take a look at this thing. Starting as always with construction and design, the Havit low profile mechanical keyboard uses a standard 104 key layout and is made entirely out of plastic. It has a minimalistic design that will only take up as much of your desk as it absolutely has to. Aesthetically, the board is pretty basic with its black on black color scheme. There is, however, some branding with a silver logo just above the arrow cluster. Durability wise, the board is fairly lightweight and there is a good amount of flex when really cranking down on the keys. No doubt it's due to its all plastic construction, and I do think the addition of a metal backplate instead of the plastic would have made this board feel a lot more premium. The keyboard is also incredibly thin due to its low profile switches, however it's not the thinnest that I've seen. If you're looking for the thinnest possible mechanical keyboard, I'll leave a link to my review of the Drevo Joyeuse down below, but that one however does not have RGB. Just like the name implies, this Havit board uses Kailh's low profile blue switches. These switches have 45 grams actuation force, a 3mm travel distance with an overall height of 11.5 millimeters with those low profile keycaps installed. As for the switches themselves, I really like the overall feel of the low profile Kailh blues. There's a nice crisp click that doesn't feel overly crunchy like clicky switches sometimes do, and the design of the switches makes for almost zero key wobble, which gives them a much more solid feel. Typing on this keyboard is a real pleasure, and even though you don't get as much overall travel as you would from full-size blues, I can see gamers and typists alike having a great experience with this board. And just so you guys can hear what I'm talking about, here is a quick sound test. The switches also have clear switch bodies just like Kailh's regular RGB switches, however due to their design, even though the keyboard has that floating key look, you won't see as much of the light coming from underneath the keys. Speaking of the lighting, this keyboard does have full per key Rgb illumination, however it's important to mention that this board does not use any kind of lighting software. Now this can be both a positive and a negative. The plug and play nature of the board means that all of your profiles and macros will be saved directly onto the board, and you won't have to worry about the software hogging up any of your RAM, but that also means that you won't have quite as many options for custom profiles, and setting up the profiles you can make takes up a lot more time, as well as it does take a good amount of trial and error. Still, the keyboard comes with a good amount of preset lighting modes should you want to keep things a little bit more simple. These effects mostly include your standard color wave, ripple, reactive, color cycling, and a random mode that's a lot like Razer's Starlight. And you can do a bit of customizing these effects as well, such as changing their direction and speed. You can save up to 5 total profiles on this keyboard, so there's plenty of options for dedicated settings for your favorite games. The low profile keycaps consist of laser etched ABS plastic. The font on the keycaps is a nice bold but simple font, and all of the secondary characters are positioned in a way that they can be illuminated as well, which isn't always the case with mechanical keyboards. Like I mentioned before, Havit took a pretty minimalistic approach to this guy, so you won't find much in the way of extras. There's no included wrist rest or any dedicated media or macro keys, and surprisingly they don't even include a keycap puller in the box. Still, for the price and considering the purpose of this keyboard, I can't really fault it for keeping things simple. Still, the board does have full anti-ghosting and there is a Windows lock mode for gaming. Taking a look around the board, the LED indicators are nice and clear, consisting of simple white LEDs above their respective functions. The simple rubber cable is removable and connects via USB micro to the keyboard. I always prefer removable cables, so that's a welcome sight for me. The underside of the keyboard has 4 small rubberized pads and 2 rubberized extendable legs to keep the keyboard in place during use, which does do a good enough job, although I wouldn't mind seeing them being just a little bit more robust. The Havit low profile switch mechanical keyboard comes in at $80 on Amazon. Considering the overall experience you get with this board, I don't think that that's an unreasonable price, but I have seen much cheaper boards at least give you a more sturdy metal backplate. I personally prefer the simplicity and extra options that software brings to the table, but there's also something to be said for the plug and play nature of the board. And leaving out a keycap puller just seems like a silly omission on any mechanical keyboard. Minor gripes aside though, the low profile design coupled with the surprisingly well performing clicky switches make for an ideal keyboard for minimalists and professionals alike. Just make sure you get the okay before taking this clicky clack factory to the office. Well, that's it for the review, guys. Let me know in those comments down below what you think about a low profile mechanical keyboard. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button because your support really helps. Of course, if you're new to MS Tech and you enjoy these videos, please hit that subscribe button because we've got a lot more content coming for you in the near future. And I just want to say one more thank you to Matt for inviting me to guest host here on MS Tech. It's been a blast so far. And thank you guys for your supportive comments on my last video. I really appreciated seeing that. Well, that's it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.